Hello everyone, this is Amity Sensei. Today I'll be teaching you how to use an iPad with a trackpad. I recently updated my iPad to iOS 13.4, which now officially allows me to connect my device to this trackpad and a mouse. This tutorial will focus entirely on me showing you how to use a trackpad. The trackpad I have here is called Magic Trackpad 2, and this is Apple's official product. It costs around $150. You can also buy a cheaper alternative that's not an Apple trackpad, as long as it can be connected through Bluetooth. If you fully master how to use this trackpad, there will be so much more you can do on your iPad. If you happen to have a trackpad, this tutorial is a must-watch for you. There are many moves to remember, but I really want you to master them and learn how to make the most out of your iPad. Let's start by connecting the trackpad to the iPad. After turning on the power of the Magic Trackpad, go to the Bluetooth settings through System and Preferences. If you choose Magic Trackpad 2 shown at the bottom, it will shift to the column above, meaning that it's connected successfully. A cursor will appear on the screen when connected. For further settings of the trackpad, click on General shown on the left column, then Trackpad where you can set detail settings. For instance, at the very top, you can set how fast you want your cursor to move. Adjusting it towards the turtle icon will make it slow, while adjusting towards the rabbit icon on the right side will make it fast. The natural scroll setting decides which direction the screen moves when scrolling on the trackpad with two fingers. For example, when it's turned on, swiping two fingers from the bottom to up will make the screen move towards the same direction, from the bottom to up like this. When it's turned off, swiping your fingers from the bottom to up will in contrast move the screen from top to bottom. So it can be turned off to let you scroll in the opposite direction. In general, the original scrolling allows you to decide the direction of the screen to move when scrolling on the trackpad. As for the double click, it enables the function to double click just like when using a mouse. Below this setting is Click on Sub button, which refers to the function of right-click on the mouse. For instance, if you click the icon with two fingers on the trackpad, a subscreen or menu category appears. This setting decides whether you want this function to be on or off. Another example, if you right-click while on Safari, a menu category will appear. Whether you want this function to be activated or not can be changed by these settings. Let's move back to the home screen. As you can see, there is a small mouse pointer or cursor on the screen. 2 seconds after letting your hand off the trackpad, it will disappear. Simply tapping the screen would also allow you to get rid of the pointer. So if you're annoyed by the pointer, a simple tap would do. Use two fingers to swipe when moving to different home screens. If you slide towards the right on your first home screen, a widget will appear on the left side. In this widget, you can customize and decide which tools to be displayed so that you can quickly access them. My suggestion here would be to include the battery menu in this widget, where you can easily check the remaining battery for the connected devices such as the trackpad and the mouse. Next, if you swipe up with your two fingers on the home screen, a search engine will appear. You can type in words here to search something on your iPad, and it can also take you to a different app. The dock refers to the arrangement of apps which are displayed at the bottom of the screen. When using the app, moving the pointer towards the bottom of the screen will make this dock appear. If you continue to move the pointer, the screen will automatically move back to the home screen. Swipe down lightly to have the dock appear, and swipe down fully all the way to the bottom to let you go back to the home screen. There is another way to move back to the home screen. This long horizontal line at the bottom of the screen is called a home bar. Simply clicking on this home bar would take you back to the home screen. To check your notifications, use your finger to swipe towards the upper margin. Click on the home bar to go back to the home screen. You can also click on the time and date that can be found on the top left corner to access the notification center. I will use the second option as it's probably easier than swiping. Now, if you click on the battery icon at the top right corner, the control center will appear. You can adjust the brightness of the screen, lock screen view, or turn on your Wi-Fi. What's interesting here is if you click on the Wi-Fi icon with one finger, it'll let you turn it on and off. And if you tap with two fingers, a more detailed menu will appear, which allows you to switch between different Wi-Fi networks. This goes the same for the Bluetooth settings. Tapping the icon with two fingers will let you quickly access a list of Bluetooths that are available for connection. Please remember these as they are useful shortcuts. If you want to arrange the layout of the apps, you can long press the trackpad or click on the app icon with two fingers and select Edit the home screen from the menu category. This will let you change the arrangement of the apps or organize them by folders. Next, I'll be explaining about Safari. Right now, I'm moving the cursor with one finger. It's interesting here to see how the cursor will change from a normal cursor to a text one if I move it to wherever text is placed on the screen. This only happens when moving the cursor on top of any text, and you can easily copy and paste using this text cursor. While I'm controlling the cursor with one finger, using two fingers will let you scroll along the screen like this. By using your thumb and pointing finger to pinch, you can zoom in and out on the screen. This is a very useful function that lets you read easily. When using the keyboard, it's more hassle to use this zoom function, so I think this is a lot easier. Next, if you use three fingers to swipe from bottom to up, it will take you back to the home screen. If you don't release your fingers and hold them on the trackpad, a list of apps will appear like this. Releasing your fingers will take you back to the home screen, while holding on to the trackpad will let you switch to other apps from the list. If there are any apps you want to quit, you can swipe downwards with your two fingers. This way you can decide which apps to be kept open. To switch between different apps, use three fingers to swipe right or left. This is a useful move to easily switch to different apps, so please remember. How much you can be efficient when working on an iPad depends on how fast you can switch between different apps. So if you want to be a master of iPad, please remember this tip. Now I will explain about the split view function. For instance, if you squeeze in an app on the right side of the screen like this, two apps, Safari and Slack, can be open on the same screen at the same time. You can also change the proportion by adjusting the bar in the middle. There is also a similar function called slide over. If you pick up an app and drop it on the screen, it will appear on top while using a different app. If you want to make the launch app disappear, try moving your cursor towards the right edge of the screen. You can also do it to make it appear again on the screen. I personally really like the slide over function on Trackpad because it used to be a lot harder to control on the screen directly. But now I can access different apps immediately, and it feels almost like a cheat sheet. If you lightly swipe upwards with your 3 fingers with the slide overview, you can also switch apps which are launched specifically for the slide overview. Right now, I'm able to switch between Safari, Photo app, and Slack. By swiping all the way towards the top, we'll then show you the overall list of apps that are open for slide overview. It may be a little complicated, but you can use this to check the apps open for the slide over function. There is also a way to simultaneously use both the split view function and the slide overview function. Right now, 2 apps are open, Safari on the left and Slack on the right side. I will now slide over the File app. Drag the File app from the dock and move towards the middle, which is also a borderline between the 2 screens. If you release your hands, the slide overview will be available. Now 3 apps are open on one screen at the same time. The slide over app can be moved freely on the screen like this. Dragging the app towards the left screen by long pressing it on the trackpad will also allow you to enlarge the app for the split view. Let's review. Drag the file app from dock towards the middle borderline and release for split view. Use 3 fingers to swipe from bottom to up to view an overall list of apps which are open for slide over. To switch between apps, simply swipe right or left. It's quite complicated, but I wish you good luck with mastering this part. For instance, when you browse on Safari and find an image you want to save, you can copy and paste on the text editor app. I just opened Evernote on the right side of the screen and Safari on the left side. When you find an image you like, tap with 2 fingers and click on Copy. You can paste this on Evernote by clicking Command V on your keyboard. You can also take some notes right below that. You may also paste your own photos from the camera roll. Let's open the camera roll using the slide overview. You can drag and drop an image of your choice freely onto the Evernote app. This split view and slide over functions are very useful when having to use multiple apps at the same time. Another practical tip I want to introduce is the use of the EC site on Safari. For example, I have my own EC site open right now. By the way, swiping right and left with 2 fingers will let you switch back and forth between the websites you accessed. When you want to compare different products on the EC site, you can try dragging the link to one product towards the top right area of the screen, and the site will appear as a slide over screen. I'll try again, pulling towards the top right corner and releasing it. Right now, 2 slide overviews are open and overlapped. If you swipe to the right or left using your 3 fingers, you can switch between the sites or products you intended to view. When shopping online and having a hard time deciding which one to buy, you can make use of the slide overview to open multiple websites for the products. This allows you to quickly compare factors including price, size, and color. Next, let's move on to showing you how to use the trackpad on apps for text. For instance, it used to be difficult using my fingers directly on the screen to select a specific text. The cursor doesn't appear, and I often accidentally ended up selecting text I didn't intend to. But by using the trackpad, I can easily select specific text by long tapping them. It's easier to control functions like text selection with a trackpad or a mouse. If you want to select a single word, use 1 finger to double tap. With this word selected, if you triple tap, the entire sentence will now be selected. Again, a single tap is to choose one word, and a triple tap is to choose an entire sentence. To copy and paste the selected text, type in Command-C to copy. Move the cursor below, then type in Command-V to paste. You can also choose to use your trackpad by dragging and long pressing the text to paste it below. Select the text, long press, and drag it down. A plus button will appear during this process, so I think it's quite easy to understand. As I showed you, copy and paste functions can be easily controlled with the trackpad too. So I suggest making full use of text apps too, along with your trackpad. Another app that I really like is Maps. I love how easy it is to zoom in and out by using the trackpad. It's pretty straightforward to grasp an overview. Oftentimes my fingers get in the way and I can't view the map entirely when I use them, but that's not the case when I can use my trackpad. Another suggestion I have is to use video editing apps. I often use an app called LumaFusion. By zooming in and out on the timeline using your fingers on the trackpad, it lets you zoom in and out. It's so much easier to view the timeline this way. By swiping on the timeline with two fingers, you can move forward or backward. I had to use my fingers to do this before, which was really troublesome. I often ended up selecting or cutting parts of the video by accident. This trackpad though lets me control easily and precisely. With the use of keyboard, trackpad, and the mouse, any video editing apps will make everything easier. I wouldn't recommend using them on the touchscreen. The last section is for those who want to have a more detailed settings on your trackpad. From the System and Preferences on your iPad, there's a category called Accessibility on the left column. It can be found below General. There you can find pointer control, so select it. This is where you can adjust the detail settings of your trackpad. For instance, let's turn on this Increase Contrast level at the very top. This controls the color that highlights text when moving the cursor on top, as shown on the screen. Below that says, automatically turn off the pointer. At the very beginning of this tutorial, I mentioned how a cursor pointer automatically disappears. If you turn off this option, the pointer will always be present on the screen. On the second settings right below that, you get to decide after how many seconds you want the pointer to disappear once you release your hands from the trackpad. For color, you can set the color of the pointer. I haven't set any colors for now, but by selecting the color, for instance blue or red, you see the outline on the pointer to be color. The thickness of this outline can also be adjusted from below. You can also adjust the pointer size from here. The circle can be enlarged like this. Next, animation of the pointer. You can decide whether the text be enlarged when moving the cursor pointer to it. Turning it off will make no difference, while turning it on will make the text a little bit larger. The same thing happens when moving the cursor on top of an icon or dock. If you like animation effects like this, you should turn it on. There's also this option called inertia scrolling, which is quite difficult to explain in words. When pausing the movement or scrolling on the mouse pointer, there is a certain momentum where its movement doesn't pause immediately but with delayed effects. So when this option is turned on, the pointer will keep on moving just by a little bit right when pausing the motion on your trackpad. I personally don't prefer to have this turned on, so I turn it off. As for the scrolling speed, you can control the speed of scrolling when using 2 fingers on the trackpad to move up or down like this. I set mine at the maximum level, as I preferred it to be fast. That's all for me showing you different functions on the trackpad. Some of you may be overwhelmed by the amount of information that I shared with you today, but it would be great if you can review this tutorial multiple times to master the use of your iPad and trackpad. This time I focus on the use of the trackpad, but I'm also planning on making a video on how to use the mouse on an iPad, so please look forward to it. If you're a creator or designer who edits video on a daily basis, I highly suggest you use a mouse. I'll talk about the reason why I say this, while I'll show you how to use it, so please wait for my upcoming video. Please give it a thumbs up if you find this tutorial useful. There are many other videos on my channel teaching you how to use your iPad, so please subscribe if you haven't. That's all for today. Although it was a long tutorial, thank you for watching until the end. Let's work hard together so we all can be an iPad master. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye bye!